Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Dell XPS 18. Now this is an 18.4-inch all-in-one touchscreen computer that really does look like a giant tablet, and in a sense it is if you want to compare it to something like the first generation Surface Pro, because it is running a Ivy Bridge Core i5 processor complemented by 8 gigs of RAM, a 500 gig hard drive that does have a hybrid 32 gig SSD for booting, and really does resemble, again, a giant Surface Pro manufactured by Dell. The model we're looking at today does include a stand. You can see right here, black with stand, 18.4-inch Full HD touch display with a webcam integrated. Again, as I mentioned, a Core i5 3370U processor. Dell is still not making this with Haswell yet, but I expect a refresh very soon. So also a good opportunity if you don't care about the battery life of this, and I did say battery life because there is an internal battery that will allow you to make this a mobile device. It only weighs 5 pounds despite its 18.4-inch and general overall surface area, so not difficult to carry around inside the house. Of course, I wouldn't recommend this for something like traveling. Windows 8, as I mentioned before, 8 gigs of memory, a 500 gig hard drive, I mentioned that, with the 32 gig SSD for booting capability or responsibilities, and then you get integrated HD graphics from Intel. This is the 4000 series, so you will actually be able to do some light gaming with this. If you've watched any of my original Surface Pro reviews with gaming with the Intel HD 4000, or even the current ones with the Surface Pro 2 with the 4400, performance is very similar. So this is not really going to confine you. It's not a power system, but when you see the actual profile as I get it out of the box, you'll realize it really is amazing what it can do considering its form factor, weight, and really the class of PC that it fits into. And again, only 5 pounds. This box is really large, but that has more to do with the fact that this does come with that stand as well as a keyboard and mouse manufactured by Logitech, which the wireless receiver for is actually integrated into the computer. So a smart move. This way we don't have to worry about using one of the two available USB ports. They are both USB 3.0, by the way, for those of you that are curious. And it's just, one of those products that really does highlight, I think, the best of what Windows 8 can represent. It's great, I think, for a lot of different purposes. For me, for photography specifically, I like this a lot. It doesn't have the best display, even though it is 1080p. In terms of color accuracy, I don't expect this to blow me away, but for what it is, there really isn't anything to compare it to, and that's what's relevant for something like this. Go ahead and get the lid open here and see what kind of maneuvers I will have to make in order to accommodate this beast. So we've got some styrofoam. Get that out of the way. And if you've never seen an XPS machine unboxed, well, this is what they tend to look like, folks. Dell has stuck with this theme for a while, and it is their premium brand outside of Alienware. The next step is Alienware. This is that keyboard. I'm going to take it out. We'll get to it a little bit later. That's the keyboard mouse combination. And this is the actual computer. Take that out. We'll come back to that as well in a moment, because there is quite a bit in here. Got to get down to the stand. You can see it down there, which is all aluminum or steel, frankly. We'll see in a moment. Put this aside. Just get everything out. Finally, the stand. And that is it. So let me go ahead and now bring the shot in tight, and let's start to take a look at what we've got here with the XPS 18. So essentially, I've given you all an overview of what this machine represents. And you still might be wondering who it really is ideal for, because it is a strange one. I mean, no HDMI output. Even on the dock that I'm about to show you, there's no output. It just charges with a magnetic pogo port, which is cool, no question about it. We're looking at the power brick right here. We'll start off with that. Pretty typical. Nothing we haven't seen before, all of us. and of course the other end of it that plugs into it and into the wall. Put that aside. Let's take a look at the keyboard. And as I mentioned before, this is manufactured by Logitech, which is certainly a good partner to pick if I'm looking for a peripheral manufacturer. As many of you may know from subscribing to my channel, Logitech is that manufacturer of choice. You can see right there we've got the mouse. I don't expect anything incredible here, but for included accessories, it's definitely nice to have something that is embedded in the machine so that you really have an all-in-one where the only wire is going to be the one that powers the device. Maybe that's why they didn't actually include any sort of output for video, but I still think that was a short-sighted move on Dell's behalf. But of course, they've got room for the next revision. Batteries for both the mouse and keyboard. Let's take a look at what this keyboard actually looks like. And it's actually weighty. I'm surprised. It's not a metal build, but there is some heft. Quick start guide is buried underneath there. And as you may or may not notice, of course, it does resemble just about, well, a lot of different wireless keyboards these days, but as I mentioned, there is the Logitech branding. So I expect good things out of this. Definitely when you get Logitech as your stock keyboard, as an included keyboard, it's always going to be better, frankly, than often the junk that is included. And since Dell is looking to deliver an entire experience here, I anticipate good things also as a result. Let me go ahead and bring up the stand. And don't worry, we're almost at the tablet. Get rid of that fabulous gel poisoning to keep the product nice and fresh, or other things out of there, I should say. And here we've got the actual metal stand, which feels like a 5-pound dead weight, frankly. You can see the magnetic charger right there, and you'll see the contact points on the bottom of the XPS 18 once I get it out of the package. But no other inputs, branding on the bottom, genius. I don't really have a lot more to say about that, but I mean, better that it's there, right? I think we can all agree on that. Less branding is definitely better. So if they had to put, their name somewhere, the bottom is better than the front or the side. An LED here that will indicate charging when it actually is connected, and it'll hold it in place fairly well from what I've seen. Little wire hiding right here, and that's where your wire is going to snake and basically just plug in to this dock and power the entire experience. You can see it does articulate a little bit, not an incredible range of motion, but better than having none. So cool to get this included. It's generally a $100 accessory for the XPS 18. This does not come bundled out of the box, generally speaking, when you order this from Dell. So lastly, let's get the actual tablet up here. And I can tell you right now, I can see why everything was so heavy. It's not the XPS 18. I mean, the XPS 18 is actually relatively light compared to what I just went through. I mean, the dock itself seems like it weighs as much as this machine. Let's see if there is anything on the packaging of, well, no, nothing noteworthy here. Let's get it open. There it is. And I give Dell credit on the packaging. They did a lot of padding on this, and it's warranted. I mean, you do have an 18.4-inch full HD display. I guess I'm just going to use the tab like they want me to. And yeah, pretty light. Considering this is 18.4 inches, I'm not even getting the whole thing in the frame, and it's losing focus already because this is just a black hole at this point until I power this on. But this thing is massive, but still surprisingly light, and it feels like it is a metallic build, so that's pretty nice. Let me get the plastic off of it. I'm just surprised that an 18.4-inch machine like this, really an oversized Surface Pro, is really this seamless to hold. You're really expecting a lot more heft from a device like this. And you'll notice there are the charging ports that I mentioned before. So excuse the plastic. In fact, maybe better off doing it farther away from the microphone. But it's done now. You all survived. And there you have it. I'm going to take you around. We've got our Windows button there at the bottom that'll flip you back and forth. And wow, again, I'm surprised at the build quality. I'm liking what I see here. And not that I expected bad things, but I wasn't really sure what I was going to get out of this package. You can see the front-facing camera up there at the top with your ambient light sensor as well. If I flip the machine over to the right side, we've got our power jack. That's of course where you're going to hook up the adapter that I showed first. 2 USB 3.0 ports, headphone jack, a full-size, or no, excuse me, that's a speaker. There is a full-size SD card slot right there, which is a very nice touch. And that's where, to me, again, for photography, this is a great device. I think for a lot of people, this is just a great device in general, depending on what you plan to do with it. Great as a guest computer in your home for whenever you do have guests and they want access and you don't want them jumping on your personal machine. This is still a powerful device despite being a low voltage Ivy bridge. I'm trying to get in focus that volume rocker. There it is. Speaker output there. I'm expecting that is a little bit of subwoofer going on, but we'll see what the audio performance is like. On the back end, you can see quite a bit of ventilation along the bottom of the unit. And then we have rubber feet that actually pop out and allow you to basically throw this into a kickstand mode. And you can either have it in a traditional upright tablet manner or, or basically on an incline, and you can draw on it, use it more for productivity. So very, very cool. The Dell branding there, a lot of rubber feet here to ensure that if you are using it as a tablet, it's protected. On the other side of the device, we have another speaker, so it doesn't look like it's any form of subwoofer. It's just the other stereo speaker. The power button right there with an LED indicator, and that looks like it's just a lock. I believe that's all that is. Nothing else on this design or across this machine, this giant Surface Pro, except for what I believe are microphones. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So no rear camera on this, something that they could have included, but remember, this isn't a tablet. It really is an all-in-one, and that's what it's being marketed as. And it's a beautiful machine. I can tell you that right now. I'm just hoping that the performance, touchscreen quality, all of those things meet expectations, because there's nothing else like it. That's really the bottom line with this machine. Get the plastic out of here. Let's see if there's anything else. Looks like we have a little bit of paperwork here, but I may skip that and go straight to just showing you what it looks like on the dock, which I think I'm going to. Let's get the paperwork out of here and go straight to the docking, because that's something I want to see. I'm sure many of you as well are interested to see what that look actually delivers. So you can see right there, we've got, it just grabs it right now actively, just took it, and basically that's it. And if this was plugged in, it would be charging. So very cool, in my opinion. You can see it just kind of snaps in. Of course, you guys aren't going to be able to tell from this video, but really interesting product. Look forward to putting it through the paces, giving full impressions. I don't remember the last time I saw a device that at least seemed like it was built this well, so that impresses me already. And in terms of value, this does run right now still at around $1,300, which makes it an expensive machine. But as I mentioned, I'm expecting that Haswell refresh, which means a machine like this is going to go down in price and will arguably become the better value than the Haswell refresh, because the biggest advancement with Haswell is going to be better battery life. And Dell rates this at 5 hours. I'm not sure what we're going to see out of it, but because after all, it is an all-in-one computer, which we never thought about battery life when it came to all-in-one performance. We just thought about being able to get a seamless experience with as few wires and compromises as possible. So Dell kind of redefining what Windows 8.1 should look like. I also think the smaller touchscreen is smarter, because I've experienced firsthand. I own a 24-inch Sony touchscreen all-in-one, and the fact of the matter is, more surface area when it comes to these type of devices often can work against you and really just end up being a bad experience, because you actually get fatigue reaching all the time and trying to hit whatever it is that you're trying to access. Just going to just see if this thing had any juice in it. Power it up. I'm not expecting anything though. This isn't like, when I unbox Android tablets for all of you and the manufacturers just finished building them a week ago. This thing may have been in the box for a while. Not the hottest seller, but I can see the market Dell is going for. I like that they're actually, putting it all out there on the line and trying to be innovative. That's what makes you successful, in my opinion, even if a few of those attempts don't end up succeeding completely. But hopefully this is the beginning of a whole new vision for Windows and a traditional computing experience. Of course, I'll update all of you. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.